Medford at the XL Center for the American Athletic Conference Tournament. The Owls were only guaranteed one game. See how many they played. Owl Sports Update starts live right now. Jalen, you spent 3 years at Plymouth White Marsh High School, terrorized me the entire time while I was at Wissahickon, won a state championship. Your senior year, you averaged 19 points, 11 rebounds, 2.5 steals. Well, definitely you have to be impressed with Will Cummings. Obviously, in the first two games, he's come out here and put up 30 and 21 points respectively. He's been nothing short of sensational, the leader for the team, and he's got him going both times here in the NIT. Despite having a much deeper roster than last season, the Owls have still found themselves in tough situations when key players are in foul trouble. In a season where rematches have not been too kind to the Owls, with losses the second time around to SMU and Tulsa, they will look to pick up their second win against Louisiana Tech in the third round of the NIT.
Andrew?
Thanks, Chase. That's right, P.J. Walker struggled to protect the football a little bit this season. He finished second in the AAC in interceptions with 15, but some of the turnovers and negative plays could have been prevented had he made some correct pre-snap adjustments. Let's take a look. First and 10 early on in the third quarter. Tulane Green Wave clearly set up with 6 guys, as you can see here in the box. Temple comes out in a 4-receiver set, no tight end help, but Kenny Harper in the backfield. You would think that PJ would audible Kenny to stay in and help protect with left tackle Deion Dawkins one-on-one with the right end. That was a matchup that was not too favorable for the Owls. It was a jailbreak blitz, ended up in P.J. Walker getting sacked. At the very end of the first half, Jalen Bond suffered an ankle injury. Huge expectations were put on junior forward Devontae Watson and freshman forward Obi Anechionia. Both stepped up in huge ways. It's been quite a ride so far this season for the gymnastics team. In its first 5 competitions, the Owls have recorded just 1 win. Temple's new field hockey coach is no stranger to winning. Mary Beth Freeman has 5 NCAA championships to her name, 3 games into the season, and the lacrosse team knew exactly how to win close games. The Owls were 3-0, winning those 3 games by a combined 4 goals, with 2 wins coming in overtime. But that all changed over the weekend when Cornell was in town. After a disappointing 6-10 season last year, the women's lacrosse team was more than ready for the start of the 2015 season. The temperatures may still be hovering in the teens, but that didn't stop the Owls from getting their season off to a fiery start. It was obviously a huge factor. Jalen Bond picked up that 4th foul very early in the second half, and then you saw the big boys from SMU go down low and do some work. Quinn Nicosi was outmatched underneath the boards, as was Dan Dingle, and there was really nothing the Owls could do against Marcus Kennedy and the boys from SMU. 7 straight wins now as the Owls took down the ECU Pirates 66-53 here at the Liacouras Center. The Owls will be back in action on Tuesday down in Texas, taking on the SMU Mustangs, ranked 25th in the country. Well, that's a Philadelphia statement if I've ever heard it. There's always next year, but Quentin Nicosi is definitely going to be the guy. Chase, you mentioned it. He's going to be the senior leader. The state of Connecticut has offered Tyler Medikevich a lot of great moments. 2 state championships, a Connecticut Post Male Athlete of the Year award. His win against UConn was just another day at the office. The Owls didn't have the lead all day until 4:24 left in the game. But with 8 seconds to go now, the Tigers go back up 1 on a Kendron Johnson layup. Bond quickly on the inbound finds Cummings in transition. He finds Josh Brown window shopping for JB. Owls go up 61-60. Here come the Tigers the other way. Heave is a no-go. One more time, let's take a look at Josh Brown as he finds his spot on the court for his only bucket of the day. Not bad, Josh. Owls win in stunning fashion, 61-60. It was Sunday night right here outside the Liacouras Center that the Owls boarded buses headed towards Madison Square Garden. On Tuesday night, they will take on the Miami Hurricanes in the semifinal round of the NIT. Who do you turn to when you need points? Will Thrill Cummings. Yeah, he did. Drives the lane and finishes for 2. Jalen Bond rolled an ankle late in the first half, but Devontae Watson steps up in his absence. 8 second-half points for the big man. Owls are known for flying high above the ground, but on this day, Coach Dunphy had his team headed below the ground on the Broad Street line, headed to the Wells Fargo Center to take on number 10 ranked Kansas. This is the time of show where we sit back, hand it off, and watch. Pete Carroll takes some notes. In postseason play, teams rely heavily on veteran leadership and guard play to propel them forward no matter what the tournament is. In today's second-round NIT matchup against George Washington, the Owls relied on both of these. Will Cummings and Jesse Morgan combined for 41 of Temple's 90 points. Morgan went 4 of 7 from deep. Cummings, 8 of 8 from the line. Later in the first half, Jesse Morgan off a screen. Booyah! Rest in peace, Stuart Scott. a role model for all. Owls up 33-26 at intermission, and as many as 13 in the second half. Late in the game, knotted at 52, Nick Moore with 3 of his 10, Mustangs up 3. On the other end, DeCozy forces a quick 3, no go. Owls finish shooting 8 of 26 from deep. SMU leaves the Leacore Center victorious, 60-55. Second half, Nicole Kroner off a corner set piece supplies Amber Yutz for one of her 4 goals on the day. Later in the half, Alyssa Delp, ooh, got one, as she pulls the spinorama on the Nova defender advancing into the offensive zone. Amber Yutz eventually cleans that up, putting the Owls up for good. Final score 6-3, but they aren't done, Walt. Quentin DeCozy has come on very strong in the NIT. In a quarterfinals matchup against Louisiana Tech, he recorded 21 points and 11 rebounds. Good enough for his first career college double-double. Reporting for Owl Sports Update from the Leacore Center for the final time, I'm Andrew McDevitt. Coming off the worst season in program history, the 2014 season was a welcome fresh start for the Temple men's basketball team. Expectations for this season were high. The Owls had 2 of their top 3 scorers returning in Will Cummings and Quentin DeCozy, along with a fresh crop of newcomers ready to contribute. 3 of these newcomers have very similar stories. Jesse Morgan, Devin Coleman, and Jalen Bond all grew up in the city of brotherly love. Highly touted for their high school accomplishments, all 3 opted to leave Philadelphia for college. Now winding down their collegiate careers, they have returned home and lifted the Owls to new heights. This season kicked off with the 3 transfers on the bench, splitting their first 4 games, 2 wins, 2 losses, 1 at the hands of NCAA powerhouse Duke. The Owls also finished Big 5 play 500, with home wins over Penn and LaSalle. Big 5 play had the Owls sitting at 7-4 coming into a December 22nd showdown at the Wells Fargo Center against number 10 ranked Kansas.
And the crowd is storming onto the court in elation. This place has erupted.
The Owls not only beat the Jayhawks, they ran them out of the gym, winning by 25 thanks in large part to their starting guards. Cummings, DeCozy, and Morgan combined for 54 points. Now in the heart of conference play, the Owls have continued success. Just last Saturday, the Owls were on the road for a tough game against Memphis. It took a Josh Brown late bank shot to keep the winning ways going.
7.6 seconds left. Back come the Owls the other way, down by 1. Here comes Will Cummings. Gets it to Brown, fires the jumper. Good with 2.4 seconds left. And the Owls have won it. The Owls have won a thriller here in Memphis.
Following the late win, the Owls return home to the Nest to take on Cincinnati, looking to pass them in the standings. The Owls defended home court, winning 75-59. Currently, they are on a 6-game win streak and ranked 3rd in the American Athletic Conference. Next up, the ECU Pirates will be at the Leacore Center, where the Owls will look to move to 19-7. A pretty nice position to be sitting in, only a couple weeks away from Selection Sunday.